Hi, I'm Carol Ann Tutera. I've spent the last 2 decades advocating as we age to embrace aging, being authentic in what I call the Sotapelli lifestyle. Hi, and welcome. Today we have Carrie Martz. She was the founder and CEO of a very successful Martz Agency, a full-service advertising and public relations firm, which began in 1980 and sold it in 2013 to Bob Parsons, founder of GoDaddy, who we're here in sneaky big studios, so another connection for her. Throughout her 35-year history in advertising, she was recognized for a variety of leadership, industry, and philanthropic awards. But since leaving the agency in 2015, Carrie started Clean Light Laboratories, which is a consumer products company focused on women's health and wellness. In a very few short years, the company has obtained 3 patents, with 2 pending and 5 registered trademarks. They've brought 2 products to market under the brand UV, which is focused on sanitizing intimate products, and are bringing the first menstrual cup sanitation kit to market before year end. These products will all be under the brand Playa? Am I saying that right?
Plea. Plea by Puritize.
Very nice. Carrie is currently a board member at Cancer Treatment Center of America, Western Regional Hospital here in the Phoenix area. So thank you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
It's exciting. Your home, second home, maybe your second home. Your agency was your first home.
Yes, this is my reinvention of myself.
Good. So tell me, how did you go from advertising into the health and wellness?
All along in my career, I was very interested in women consumers. You know, we know that women are the ultimate decision maker in 3 trillion decisions and purchases of consumer goods throughout the world. And so in advertising, we always focused on what would a woman want. And after I'd sold my agency to Bob Parsons, I was fortunate to have the time to sit back and decide, what do I want to do next? And I knew I didn't want to have an ad agency again, but I loved the branding. And so I was looking at products that I could put under my own brand and bring to market. So I knew I wanted it to be something that was attractive to women. And as I started to research more products, what I found is there was a lot of interest in the overall health and wellness of women. And I was a little over 50 at the time, and I was thinking about things that were important to me and staying active and also being careful, because I was single, was another important element of aging. And so interesting, I had people sending me products all the time, and they were saying, what would you do with this product and what would you do with that? And someone sent me a baby pacifier sanitizer and a toothbrush sanitizer. My daughter at the time was leaving for Germany. She was about 5 months pregnant, and she and her husband were moving over there. And I said, you're a little OCD and you're moving to another country. You're having a baby. Take these with you. And she said, you know, Mom, I was just reading in a blog about what to expect when you're pregnant, that at about 5 months, 6 months or something, that you really need to be careful about using intimate products, vibrators and whatnot. And I know people go, that's weird. You would talk to your daughter about something like that. But, you know, when you have a good relationship, you should be able to. But she said, however they're cleaning those, they should be doing that with intimate pleasure products as well. And that night, I started researching what was going on in that industry. And it had so changed from what I think people think of sex toys and adult toys would be. It really is a very sophisticated industry. In fact, it's worth about $25 billion in sales a year. The femtech market is gigantic, and it's all researching about how to help women, in fact, and men and couples be more empowered, but feel more confident in using intimate products. So no company, no matter how big they were dealing with how do you sanitize these toys. And in fact, some of them would say things like, put a condom on them. And some others were saying, put them in hot boiling water, but no more than 5 minutes. But you may spend $150 or more on an electronic product like this. You would never put that in hot water. So I looked at it as an opportunity. I said, we could really educate the market. We could disrupt how people are thinking about those that are afraid of using intimate products and bring them into the market. And I started looking at who was doing anything like it, and no one was. So immediately I hired an engineer, a scientist. I went to China. I know it sounds crazy. That was all within probably 2 months. And designed and patented the world's first ever sanitizer lock storage system that also charges toys so that little kids can't get in there, or your mother-in-law or whomever you don't want to see what you're using. But really in the process of this, which was so much fun and really fabulous for me, is I met so many women that were engaged in the 50-plus market of women who are saying either they're single or they're a widow or whatever they are, they want to just add life to their relationship. What do they do to do that? And so became... I don't want to say I'm a toy expert because that would be
no, you're a light expert.
Yeah, right. I'm all about how to keep things clean. But then I really did start reading about how important it is to keep blood flow going and intimacy. And one article even said a woman should have an orgasm a day. And I thought, wow, that'd be a lot of work. But there are
it's a lot of pleasure.
Yes. But it turns out, in fact, that there are many toys that will do that for you. So we brought to market UV, which is spelled UVEE, and introduced it to the retail and distribution market. And then we are slowly moving into the OBGYN market, and we have a medical advisory board. And now we're able to develop other products because we have a fabulous patent that covers so much more than intimate products. It allows us to sanitize complex products. So it's your phones. We can sanitize toothbrushes now, cosmetic brushes, baby bottles. And we have a whole line coming out of using our patented system that really creates refractory light so it gets into all the nooks and crannies of complex devices.
Okay, so I know what the box looks like.
Yes.
And it reminds me of a little mini sun tanning bed.
Yes, it does.
So had I known back then, we could have taken it all in there, but probably not the same thing. So what's the difference between the two? Explain to people, because they'll probably pick up on the fact that this would look like a suntan bed.
Yes.
But talk about the difference in the bulbs in the two.
We use UVC light, and UVC light's been used in hospitals for years. But we have a certain wavelength that we have patented with the UVC light, and we've embedded that light into a waffle-like grid system. And what that allows is that when the box is closed, it almost creates a Star Wars effect so that the light bounces off of each one of the ridges inside the reflective surface inside the box. And that reflective surface then allows for light to penetrate into things that may be hidden if it was just a direct beam. So now we have light coming in from the side, the bottom, and consider a remote control. So a remote control has, I think it's 1.86 million germs per square inch. Now, so you never want to go to a hotel and touch a remote control. But
we
if
do.
those little nudges and the little nodules on the numbers of the remote control, now we can get into the sides of those because of the refractory light that we create in this, sun tanning booth for everything.
And how long does something have to stay in there then?
We have two systems. A smartest possible way to maximize, I think, acceptance from consumers is to make sure it's fast and it's efficient. And so our larger box, which is called the Home Play, it takes 10 minutes and it automatically turns on and it automatically turns off. So it's really mindless. You just put your device inside, shut the door or shut the little lid, and it turns on. And then everything, if you want it, you can charge it up. We have 3 USB ports inside the box. And so if you're ready to use something like your phone or an intimate product, it's always ready to go when you are. That plugs into the wall. The other system is a smaller little, we call it Go Play, and it can go through TSA. It can go with you when you're traveling. And so if you wanted to, you could fit a remote control in there. And that way, when you end up in a hotel, you just make sure you sanitize everything before you touch it.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. So this is TSA safe then
Yes.
to not carry on? Or
yes,
is
you
it?
can carry it on. I love it when I'm stopped.
Oh my God.
And they look at it, but usually, it's empty because I'm taking it as a demo. But I've had a few occasions, and people always have their stories about what they're taking through TSA. And I think,
So you have yours?
Yes, I have my story too.
Oh my God, you're hysterical. Okay, so moving on. Now, somebody wrote in a question because I talked to some people about this.
Okay.
And they said there's a recent study, it's a new study by Nimrod and Berdichevsky, I hope, in 2016, that often older adults become more creative with their sexual intimacy and pleasure to accommodate sexual issues such as erectile dysfunction, vaginal dryness, and decreased sensual sensations. Do you find this true with people you talk with?
We are constantly monitoring what's going on online, and we also have a network of influencers that are talking on our behalf. And so I'm reading what's the high points in the sexual conversations. And all of that is true. And from personal experience, I've had couple friends and whatnot. I've become sort of the advisor of this. But if you have pain in any way, as you well know, in any kind of sexual environment, you're not going to repeat that. And so what many doctors have done is they've recommended that you use a toy to help stimulate the libido where it doesn't cause pain. There's no true penetration. Women have a different way of having an orgasm than I think men typically think they do. And so in this case, you have a safe environment to test things and see what helps you regain libido, especially without pain. And I think that's the most important, is it's the fear factor. And let's face it, if you don't use it enough, you lose it. And a lot of us in long-term relationships get a little complacent. So the industry is growing. When we started back in 2017, we finally had the product on the market, to what it is today and the inventions of what they're doing with couples both engaging, it's grown by billions. So what is out there right now is working.
So speaking of sexual pleasure toys, I was in New York with my son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter, and we're walking through Neiman's. It's pretty safe, right? Cruising. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, my son stops and points to the sexual toy, and I was shocked.
That they had one at Neiman's?
Yes.
Oh, that would be my dream come true. Oh, that's great. I was in New York, and I was there on a press tour, and I walked into Barney's, and I went into the cosmetic, actually, where they had the beautiful perfumes, and there was a display, and I took my UV, and it was during Christmas time, and they have the great windows, and I took the UV unit, and I put it on a shelf, and I took pictures of it, and I go, oh my gosh.
Oh, you're bad.
Barney's is carrying
oh my
UV.
God, you're bad.
Of course they weren't, but no, I'll tell you, you can't walk down a drugstore, shelf aisle, or a Nordstrom or something. They may not call them pleasure products. They'll call them intimate devices. But as exciting as it is that someone like Neiman sees that, they probably are offering it as a gold-plated intimate device, so it's a one-of-a-kind. I think Gwyneth Paltrow did a lot for the industry when she came out and said one of her top 10 favorite gifts for the holidays was a $15,000
oh my God, don't tell me, really?
Product. Yes. So
I don't know what it's going to do for $15,000. I don't even want to go there.
It's got to make a paycheck at that point, I think. I definitely think. I was just going to add, as progressive as that is, and I'm so excited to hear that, one of the unfortunate roadblocks we had, and I honest to God cannot believe this, but we are not allowed, even though we don't sell toys, we sell a sanitizer. We are not allowed to advertise on Facebook or on Instagram because we have been associated with pleasure products.
Can your influencers talk about you?
Yes. Anything we
All day
want
long.
via social media. But that takes time.
Right.
And everything is being sold online right now. We finally made it past the black curtain on Amazon, so we can sell the products on Amazon. But as I think that was the biggest shock for me, is that back in the day, again, when we started, you were not allowed to say the V word on Facebook. And a group of doctors and even some politicians and influencers did a video and bleeped out the word and called it everything other than what it really was, and started posting it on Facebook until finally Facebook said, okay, fine, we're going to allow you to say that. But that's how archaic it has been, and it's really ridiculous.
So I find that fascinating that they won't let your product be online, but yet they will discern all the political ads to come through.
Yeah, and those are worse.
Right. That's another
A
show
lot
in
worse.
itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think another reason that proves that women, and correct me if I'm wrong, but women are the number one buyer of the toys, right?
Absolutely.
Is the show with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
My God.
I loved it. My phone, because most of my friends knew I was getting involved in this, and my phone was blowing up. But they're saying, oh, my God, Jane Fonda, she's coming out with a vibrator for women who have arthritis. This is perfect, Carrie. You need to call her and tell her that you can clean it. And it was probably about a month later, I was in New York, and I was meeting with her publicist, Ken Sunshine. And I was telling him what we were doing, and I had heard ahead of time that he might represent her. And I just wanted a meeting. I just wanted her to put my product on the air or something, or in the show. And he said, it doesn't happen that easily. She gets paid to do things like that. And when you have money, come back, we'll talk. But he did say she ended up on the Today Show talking about it, and they were actually going to start producing it. And it was funny because there were women that were coming up to me saying, oh my gosh, I actually do get arthritis from holding my toy because it's so heavy. And I hadn't thought about that because we don't design toys, we just sanitize them. But it was very close to see her picture in his office, and he was representing her, and she had just celebrated her 80th birthday. God love her. And I loved the show. She was doing focus groups, and she was sending the products out through their home, putting labels on them. And I go, that's us. That's us.
But they never did develop it, did they?
No,
okay,
they didn't.
Because on the show you think they did, and you're wondering how you can get a hold of it.
Yeah,
so.
No, they didn't. But the funniest episode is when she said, we're going to start with college kids. So they went on to college campuses thinking that the kids would start buying toys, but they didn't have the money. So she figured out, we're going to go to assisted living and adult senior centers. And that's where they really started selling them. I just think it's quite funny.
But that's where people start finding a lot of sexual disease now, is in the assisted living homes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're not paying attention.
No.
Absolutely. They're not paying attention.
They're
At that age,
time.
they're probably saying, I don't need to, right?
Right. So have you gotten feedback from men on the toys at all?
Well, we have a huge following of gay, and we think it's really important that the products are used by, obviously hetero and homosexual and gay individuals. And so we go to a lot of shows where they're at, and there's certain products that work very well in our machines. The men are a little bit quieter and are more metrosexual, so they're easier they're early adopters of things like this. But as I think I said in the beginning, is once a woman introduces a toy into the relationship, men adopt very quickly. They start to like it, and then they are more of the explorer. And so we have sold many machines to men in other countries even, and we're not even advertising in other countries. So as we become more internationally savvy, we'll figure that out.
What's your number one country you ship to?
One that we found out we were not allowed to, which is Saudi Arabia.
Oh, interesting.
And they had a locker where we were supposed to send things to. And they asked if we would put it in a white box. And we have some that are in white boxes. And our fulfillment house did not put it in the white box and we heard about it, but it's illegal to have those products in certain countries, and we now know that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, then, moving
Yes.
on. Is there any health concerns that we should be aware of at all?
You know, there are some toy products that are made out of a very weak plastic that literally we recommend no one ever use. So we're always suggesting if someone says what toys to use, and it's always look at medical grade silicone products. And they are expensive, but they last. They're worth the investment. And there's no degradation of the color or the product. So the top lines like WeVibe and Lelo and some of these other new ones that have come to market are a little over $100, but they last years and years.
Okay. Let's circle back to the light box because that really fascinates me. I have not tried my cell phone in it yet. I'm a little leery of that, I have to tell you.
Oh, it won't hurt anything. It's UV light kills what's on top and it kills germs. It doesn't have anything to do with the electronics. There is a product on the market that's a very small little box that came to market about the same time we did. It's one purpose, so for I think it's $80 you can buy. It's called phone soap, and they sell thousands of them just to clean the phone, but that's all it does.
Wow.
And so if there's a product out there like that, it works very well. And we have started...
Do we have to lay things like, can they touch each other when they're inside the box? Do we have to separate them out? Can we just throw in as much as we can in there?
No, you need to separate items out because otherwise if it's touching something, then the light can't get to the part that it's touching something else. So the benefit of a bigger box like ours is that you have plenty of room to keep things separated. And our home unit allows for you to even put an iPad in. But
wow.
It's, again, it takes 10 minutes and you kill 99.9% of all germs. We worked with a Harvard microbiologist and he did all of the testing. And some of the products are even less than 10 minutes, but we try and be a little bit safer.
Nice. So I know you've got another product coming out that you're very excited about.
Yes, I am.
So talk to us about that product.
I believe we're going to revolutionize an industry that really needs help, and that is the menstrual market. And so 26% of the women's world population is in the age of having menstrual cycles. Yet we are not offering solutions to so many of the underdeveloped countries and so many of the cities in the United States. There are so many people that cannot afford proper menstrual products. There's been a product on the market. It's called a menstrual cup, and it's been since, I think, 1960. I had never heard of it. But what was happening is people were calling us and saying, does your product work on a menstrual cup? And menstrual cups are made out of medical grade silicone, so of course it would. But we tested it, and it worked. And we started to research this market, and it currently is about $1.8 billion. And I would go up and down the aisles of Walgreens and CVS, and I would see these menstrual cups for $40, and some were $32. And again, no way to sanitize them. There wasn't anything out in the market. So we readapted our product and we made it look like it looks. Some people probably aren't old enough to remember what the little pantyhose in the egg looked like.
Oh,
and
I
so,
do.
Okay.
I love that little thing.
Ours looks like the little pantyhose egg. They called them legs. And you literally just put the menstrual cup inside, do a twist, and in 5 to 7 minutes, the menstrual cup is 99.9% germ-free. We are so excited about the sanitizer. We use a different product inside to create reflection. It's Teflon. And we're using UVC LED lights. So there's no mercury-based bulb in there, so they can fall around in your purse. They could get bumped. They won't break. They last a lifetime. It's small. It's rechargeable, so a woman can take it, put it in her purse. If she has to go dump her little menstrual cup, she can just put it back into the menstrual cup sanitizer and be ready to go. And you can wear a cup for 8 to 10 hours. They are reusable. They Some people say that they can last 3 to 5 years. They are less expensive than tampons and pads. And if they're made correctly, like ours out of menstrual or medical grade silicone, then you are able to have it, as I said, for years. One of the things we learned, though, is, and this is the thing I'm the most excited about, is that the cups that are on the market right now are in the $30 to $40 range because they can get away with it. We can manufacture and have manufactured the same grade cup with some special features like one that allows you to release the cup without any problem, one that is ensuring that it's leak-free. And so those are things from our research we found out women were hesitant to use menstrual cups. So we solved their problem, and they worried about cleaning it, and we added our sanitizing kit. But we found when we went to where we manufacture in China, we do all the design work here in the U.S., but when we went to China, we were able to manufacture and bring to market menstrual cups. We can sell 2 for $20. And this is the first time I've actually said this to the world.
Yay.
And
you heard it here first.
Yes, you did. And the other ones on the market, as I said, one is $30 to $40. It doesn't have to be that way. So we feel we're going to be able to bring a better product to market, gain trial, and solve the cleaning problem. So when all is said and done, they could buy a full kit of the sanitizer, which also could do earplugs if you want, or teeth at some point, and fake teeth, I guess it is, dentures. Yeah, I want to make sure
that's retainers.
Yeah, retainers.
There you go.
So it's the same size, but our sanitizer will hold any other cup on the market, but it will also hold ours. And so you can buy the full kit for $70. And then on top of that, we'll be selling other vaginal health products to anybody who buys our kit. And our plan is that for every menstrual cup we sell, we're going to donate one back to one of these, extremely underprivileged countries. And what they're doing in India and Africa for these women who are going through their cycle are put in tents while they have their cycle. They're not allowed to go to school. And I was in Africa. I talked about it. I saw it firsthand. And I am determined that we will make a difference with this because I know what our cost is, and I know people will be excited to support our cause. And it's not just out of this country. This country has a huge problem with getting proper menstrual products and education about menstrual products to our young women in this country. But we like it because it's safe. It actually, if you have a period and you're using a tampon at the end of your period, it's painful. A menstrual cup is not. And now they get introduced to Puritize and our cup, Plia, and they'll go have babies. And then they can buy later on our Puritize baby bottle sanitizer, or they might buy our Puritize home unit for all the things their kids bring home from school that then spreads across the whole family. And now we call those women TSA, the Sanitization Authority. Everything that those people bring home, the kids bring home,
Very
dads,
good.
Whatever,
right.
Put in the box, get it clean before it spreads to another family member. So I think our little organization really is about changing the health and wellness for women and their families.
Well, you're going to do great stuff. I just have a wonderful feeling about that.
Well, you're a great supporter, so I can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Well, we're ready to wrap up, but we always ask a final question. Where do you find your joy?
My biggest joy truly is making a difference. It has been that way since I was 6 years old. I wrote my first newspaper and sold 2 copies for 2 cents.
Good for you.
So I've just kept at it. I really do want to make a difference.
Nice.
I want thousands of people to be at my funeral and go, thank you, thank you, thank you. You did it, you did it.
How about being there when you're alive? They can do that too.
Either way. Thank you, though, for letting me carry on a bit about this new passion of mine.
Absolutely. So people can buy your product through Amazon, yes?
Yes, UV is on Amazon, or they can go to our website, clean.com, UVEE clean.com. And actually, if they use my name, Carrie, they will get a discount, CARRIE, just for being on your show.
Very nice. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
really
you.
love to have
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, here is your assignment for the week until we meet again. It is important for you to think about what can you do to celebrate you. What's going to make you happy? What's your authentic self? Let's hear what you've done. Make sure you let us know what you're doing to take care of yourself. Did you go out and see the sunset? Did you go see a sunrise? Did you give someone a smile today? Did you hug someone for no reason? What's one way you can celebrate yourself and report back in?